All right, now, so hi, Randy. It's amazing to meet you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. All right. So, for listeners first meeting you, I wanted to ask, how did you first get connected with Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Foundation?
Gosh, I've been with the organization now about 13, 14 years.
Wow.
Alice Cooper's Teen Centers do a music competition every year. Jordan Sparks was our first winner of that about 20 years ago, 21 years ago. And I was asked to be a judge at that music competition about 13, 14 years ago. So that's how I first met the folks over at Solid Rock.
Wow, that's actually really nice. Oh, what's it like working there? Like, what's the environment looking like? Is it nice? What's it feeling like?
I mean, our environment and culture is amazing. I'm really privileged to work there. We have a 28,000 square foot teen center that's filled with Alice Cooper rock and roll memorabilia. And it's a great privilege of what we do. We have a big rock and roll stage in our teen center where kids can play open mic performances and jam sessions. And we have guitars everywhere and a recording studio and an art studio. So yeah, it's a very inspiring place to be at.
That's nice. When did you first learn about it, and what got you into wanting to do that kind of stuff?
I read about Alice Cooper's Teen Center probably about 6 months before I was invited to be a part of the music competition. Wrote their information down in a notepad with the intention of calling them. And then about a month or two later, I was in a business meeting looking for an office space, and another volunteer invited me to be a part of the music competition. And it very much organically happened. I like to say it was divine, and God opened up a door for me.
Well, that's nice. How about you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like, well, I already know what you do, but like, what's your hobbies? Are you into any like instruments? Do you play any instruments?
I play bass guitar very badly. I originally started my, life pursuit as thinking I wanted to be a musician, but I grew up here in Phoenix, born originally in New York, wrote for newspapers and magazines at the beginning of my career. I have a lot of personal interests. I mean, I love pinball. I love hockey, love art. I'm a mild art collector. I collect some art here and there.
Like paintings and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of visual art. Yeah, I have some paintings from a legendary artist named Howard Finster that actually did some album covers for Talking Heads and B-52s and a bunch of different people like that.
What kind of genre does he paint?
He does folk art.
Folk art.
Yeah, he was a legendary folk artist based in Georgia. He probably passed away about 7, 8 years ago. He did a Coca-Cola bottle for the Olympics in 1996 that a lot of people were probably really familiar with. It was a very iconic piece of art that showed at the Olympics in Atlanta.
Oh, well, that's nice. So moving on to your path and your purpose, was there any moment in your life or your career when working with teens was creatively like really clicked with you?
Well, I grew up in kind of a semi-dysfunctional home with a lot of challenges, and no home life is perfect, right?
Yeah.
But I grew up kind of in a challenged environment. So I think myself being able to work at a teen center has really resonated, with me to be able to give kids a chance to, give back and help them and inspire them from my own personal story of probably coming over, some adversity, et cetera. And certainly our teen centers for everybody. So it doesn't matter if they're affluent, homeless, atheist, Muslim, no matter who they are, as long as they're a teen, 12 to 20, they're welcome. But no matter who you are in life, you're going to have challenges and obstacles, and we always need a little bit of mentorship and guidance and inspiration.
That's very inspiring. How has being part of Solid Rock shaped you personally, like not just professionally?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot from Alice and Cheryl Cooper. They've had a 50-year plus career. I've learned a lot about marriage. I've learned a lot about life. I've learned a lot about spirituality and God, with them. So, it's personally challenged me in a lot of ways to be a better leader and certainly have, strong character and strong integrity, because when you are working in a nonprofit organization, you're often in the limelight and the spotlight. So you want to be above reproach and everything. And certainly representing an icon like Alice Cooper, that comes with a lot of responsibility. So you want to be extra cautious on your guard, to do that.
Well, that's nice. What kind of like advice would you give to someone that you see that's like struggling with like music and stuff? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say practice nonstop. Don't worry about being perfect. Do it as a joy. Do it as a passion. And just remember that U2, the Beatles, Metallica, everybody started when they were teenagers. And right now in your life is a pivotal moment. You might not be trying to win a Grammy Award. You're building friendships and you're doing something that creatively feels great in your life. And music is a coping skill, and music helps heal our life. And we're not trying to be perfect and win a Grammy Award or open up for a Metallica concert. We're trying to do something that we totally enjoy. And it doesn't really matter if you hit that note flat or if you're a phenomenal musician or not. Just remember Bono and the Beatles and Alice Cooper all started at teenagers, and they grew and they evolved and they got better and disciplined themselves over time. It doesn't happen overnight.
That's very true. For someone who hasn't heard of solid rock before, like the center and whatnot, how would you describe it?
So we're a teen center after school. We're open completely for free for youth ages 12 to 20. Again, anyone can attend as long as they're 12 to 20. And we're just an after school hangout spot that youth can get involved in photography, music, art. If they want to just literally hang out, play cards or video games or take a nap on the floor. We're a socialization atmosphere that teens can just be able to hang out and discover your talents. If you want to find out what it's like to do filmmaking, you want to find out what it's like to be involved in a recording studio, you could try that. If you literally just want to hang out and play basketball outside with your friends, you can do that. We have a lot of options.
Oh, you have like a basketball court?
We have a small basketball court outside in our Mesa location, because we have 3 locations in the valley. We have a half basketball court outside.
Where are your locations?
We have one in Mesa, one in Goodyear, and one at 32nd Street in Thunderbird in Phoenix. And we're planning to open a 4th location in the valley in the next year.
Frivolous. Moving on. What makes Solid Rock different from other teen like agencies and like open creative spaces and stuff?
Yeah, we're an all welcoming space. So it doesn't matter who you are. You could be LGBTQ, you could be trans, you could be homeless, you can have one arm with cancer, and we treat everybody equally. It doesn't matter who you are. We welcome everybody. But what also goes deeper that makes us really unique is the access. And there's often times that you can sit down with Alice Cooper and ask him songwriting lyric advice. You can be in a jam session with Rob Halford of Judas Priest. You could be in a jam session with Bernard Fowler from the Rolling Stones. You could literally be on stage with Brian Head Welch of Korn. And those things don't happen every day, but probably about 20 times a year. We have a lot of legendary people, and even people like Travis Boersma, the owner of Dutch Bros, come out to our center and be willing to mentor youth and give them advice about their upcoming future lives.
Where do I sign up? That sounds amazing.
Yeah, sign up just online. It's real simple. You just sign up on our website.
Do I get like a membership card or something?
We don't have membership cards. We just come in and check in, but we should have membership cards. But you know what? We have an art studio, and if y'all want to just create membership cards for us, literally youth can create those kind of things, and we're super open and game for that.
That's really nice.
That'd be a good idea.
Why do you think access to music, arts, and creative expression is so important for teens right now?
Music is so culturally important, right?
Yeah.
And every time we watch a TV show, like Friends, or you watch a TV show like Stranger Things, music is a real pivotal part of that. And music is a real pivotal part of our lives. If we're going to a pro football game or a Suns game or something, there's music everywhere, right? There's music in movies and everything. And music and art are really what get us through, our day-to-day lives. And those kind of things are really important. And during our downtime, it's often a chance to elevate our mood or detune a little bit if we're stressed out or we want to have a little bit of solitude. A lot of people often turn, to music.
Very nice. Now, what happens when a teen walks through the doors of Solid Rock for the first time?
They get a free car. Just kidding. We don't do
I
flip
was so
cards.
excited. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know. Wouldn't that be awesome? We would love to
Yeah.
do that one day. The best thing to do is we just welcome them, give them a high five, and then give them a tour of our teen center, connect them with our staff, find out a little bit more about their life and what they're interested in. And if they're interested in art or they're interested in learning to play guitar, we'll immediately introduce them to one of our instructors and welcome them to come by anytime and start building a plan for them to be able to hang out at the center.
Nice. Have you seen any teens just gain that confidence when they walk in through that door? Like, just like instantly feel some sort of like welcome and like happiness?
I can give you one story if that's okay. We have
Absolutely.
hundreds of stories. I'll be private about the young man's name, but we'll call him Stephen. And Stephen came to our center about 3 years ago, and his dad said, "This is Stephen, my son. He's 14 years old. He loves lots of rock and roll bands, and he gets made fun of at school, and he doesn't really have any friends at school, and he loves to play guitar, and he'd like to meet some other kids that like this similar kind of music. Do you have any teens that like that kind of music?" And he described a few bands. I said, "Yeah, I think we have about 35. He's like, 35? No way. And I said, "What are you guys doing tomorrow?" He's like, "No plans." I said, "Come over tomorrow and I'll bring some other kids to jam with you." And I called about 8 kids and said, "Hey, there's this kid that goes to our center. He likes this band, that band, that band. Would you be open to just coming in and meeting with him?" About 6 kids showed up. Fast forward 3 years later, he's happier in life. He's graduated high school, got a college scholarship, has multiple friends. He's in 2 bands. So his life is vastly improved being a part of our teen center. Our lives have greatly improved by seeing him grow so much, and for him, being around us. And we have lots of stories like that.
Very nice. Very inspiring to me, honestly.
Everybody needs a community, right?
Exactly.
And a community is so important. And a lot of times young people don't have a community. And Alice and Cheryl Cooper wanted to create this teen center so teens can have their own community, whether that community is 5 people or 50. They have this social space that they could be able to interact and find their own community for free.
Nice. It takes a village to not only raise and nurture, but also to provide and like show camaraderie.
It does, and life evolves for all of us. We all need that community, no matter what age we're at. We all need a helping hand and encouragement and advice and inspiration.
Absolutely. Nice. What excites you most about the future of Solid Rock?
I love our growth. I love the fact that we've been blessed to do 3 teen centers in the last 15 years, that we're looking to do several more, in the Valley. The more important thing that excites me is seeing kids walk in the door that have never picked up a video camera, never picked up a guitar, and then seeing them discover something that they love to do and seeing them embrace other friends and find their talent. And that's a lot of what our, teen centers are all about, is find your talent and find your gift and be able to come in with a clean slate, and we'll be able to give you that opportunity free of charge to discover what you love to do.
If a teen is listening right now and wondering if Solid Rock is for them, what would you say to them?
I'd say just come by and just take a tour and just meet our staff and meet other teens and just to see what it's about. We'd love to have you all. We do an open mic once a month, first Tuesday of every month. Anybody can attend that. We have tons of events that, we have free food and lots of different options and movie nights and game nights and lots of different options. And there's literally something for everybody.
Now, wrapping up, I wanted to ask you one more question. If you could go back into the past and talk to your old self, what would you tell him? What piece of advice would you give him?
Get into real estate and buy 17 houses when I'm in my early 20s. And I would say, that's something I probably would say, but you're not really thinking about that at a very young
Hindsight's
age.
2020.
Yeah. And I would literally say, be creative. And whether that just means you're doodling on a notepad, or you are dabbling with creating your own podcast, or you are jamming on a guitar at home, there's this scientific fact that people who are involved in the arts are happier in life. And even again, if you're not winning a Grammy Award or you're not on stage, with Imagine Dragons, there's something for everybody that we can all be a part of art, and art is definitely a fulfilling thing. When I say art, that just means art, dance, science, technology. There's so many different accesses, to art. So just be a part of that and let it organically take you on the road as it naturally happens.
That's amazing advice. Well, I have no more questions, Randy. That was an amazing interview. I appreciate your time and all your effort for coming down to Gateway.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram.com/Alice Cooper Solid Rock, or you can look us up at AliceCooperSolidRock.com, and we'd love to have you all.
Cool. Would you like to say hi to anybody at home?
Hi to my sister Stephanie in New York. Hopefully she's listening one day.